Hey everybody, Asher here, and welcome to Starsector with my face, which means you know some fun stuff is going on. This is technically Friday free time, or free play Friday, or words I can't say because we're live on Twitch, and yeah, this is being recorded on a Thursday. So first off, I want to say thank you to Hieronymus, who Tony Leopard, you may know him as well, wherever he is currently stationed or captaining a ship, unless he was put in the punishment corner last episode. This is Starsector, and you may be saying to yourself, why in the world am I streaming Starsector? The main reason is, A, I get a lot of requests for it, and I'm always a little bit concerned because the bitrate for YouTube is capped at about less than half of what I usually record on OBS. Yeah, the Glimmer was destroyed, so there we go. I guess he's shipless, and we're just towing him in, like, space over here right now. The other side of the coin is that I was going to be recording some stuff anyway, and I thought, you know what, hell, let's just stream it. I've had some questions before about how does ship design and everything like that works, so we'll go ahead and drop Tony, who still has his funky eye patch, but doesn't have his cool big triangle collar, onto this ship right now. I don't know if that's necessarily going to be the best place because this is technically an energy boat and we should probably put Vleerjamoose in there, but we'll talk about why later. So this is our fleet, and we're going to be doing this kind of as a two-part stream. It's going to end up being two parts of a video here. The video that you're watching right now is going to be largely focused on the method to my stupidity that is designing ships, because I get some questions about, well, what do you look for in ships, especially in modded run-throughs. You can look for all kinds of guides on the Fractal Softworks forums, Starsector subreddit, the Discord. The Discord will be a little bit more reliable, but if you get something like this, like a Thresher, it's like, oh my god, this is a modded ship. There's a whole bunch of hull mods and stuff. What the hell do I do with this? And so this is where I want to at least take a little bit of a talk here and clearly work with some of the expertise that is in Twitch chat as well, just to kind of work through some of the madness. Let me make sure one more time, though, that chat box is not getting blown up by anything in the background, so that's good. So if you were not sure where we were in the context of the episode, we're at home, we're in our home system. I have some homework for things I need to do that I forgot to do, like actually add story points to the orbital works in that system. Actually going to my home system here, I want to double check. I thought I was good on administrators. Yeah, I'm currently governing 2 of 2, so I think we're okay right there, although there is an argument that I should be definitely putting a AI core somewhere else to reduce cost, but we'll get there when we get there. Anyway, this is home, and at home we have a bunch of ships, some that are, some that are for sale. Wow, apparently an Argos is for sale now. We do have some fleet restrictions as well, and I've talked about those at length on the YouTube series, but long story short, I have a bunch of ships that are sitting in the garage. I can't just bring all of my capital ships out here. I have to run kind of a combined arms fleet. But we are going to have some fun with that because there are some ships that I do want to make, that I do want to build, but this is the fleet as it stands right now. Now, put safety overrides on literally everything. That's a pirate's level of advice right there for sure. But yeah, we do have some ships here, some that have been named by viewers, some that have gone on to there. I do just want to give a shout out to all the people that have requested, including Hieronymus, to change the name of the Star Eater. However, this was something that Tony Parker requested very early on for a gigantic ship here. Now, Hieronymus, you actually did make a request here. I'm not going to read your full comment from before, but it was in reference to the anime that the Rosenritter is pulled from, and Fopri and Whim was the request you had for the name there. I have an idea of what I'm going to do with that, and it comes down to some of the ships that I need to build because my fleet is not actually done. One of the things that's actually really nice about the Rosenritter is that they have some of these super scary destroyers that they cost 25 deployment points, but they're technically still a destroyer, so that works in the fleet cap. Pretty damn expensive, but I think 2 of those will definitely do the Fopri and the Whim. Unfortunately, I'm not as familiar with the anime you referenced because that was kind of a boat that I missed. But I did get another request from Pun30 doing the same thing, wanting to go with a kind of flower naming convention here, but Star Eater, very popular ship. We will get to designing this one a little bit later because there is a lot going on here. So let's go through first off and say what ships need a once over. Obviously, we have a bunch of little frigates down here. and we're just doing auto builds on some of them, and it seems to be working out okay. We do have a bunch of Glansworth Regalia, which I think that's how it's pronounced. These will be helped quite a bit once I get Halbmond rebuilt. That is going to be one of my priorities, is to rebuild it, but I can't necessarily run it yet because the fleet cap right now is such that I can have 1 super capital and 2 capital ships. I'm going to be trying the Grim Beamer first just to see how that works out. So if you hear the audio, if you're wondering why the audio is cutting out sometimes, it's because I'm having to alt-tab because I'm bad at Twitch. But we do have some ships that I do want to go ahead and redesign, so let's dive into it. I've done enough preamble here. I am going to need to get another fuel tanker at some point for sure. So a lot of these little frigates are doing just fine. This is the ship that I've been piloting here. This is going very well. Project Kashmir is a very good weapon, and I should have more here. This is almost an idiot-proof ship with a ton of armor, with a ton of hull, and it's just a tiny destroyer that points and shoots and deletes. But we do have the So Long, the Lobster and a Magnet, the Snipper class here, and reinforced bulkheads isn't necessarily bad. I'm curious about the weapons here. A Srab heavy emitter and a Srab heavy emitter. If we put... because these are all energy weapons, and I think that could be okay. Oh, and one of the fun things about these ships, I was hoping to run into these in the wild in the game. They all have regenerating biological hulls, so that's fun. Who can we test pilot on this today? I think we can put Ganymede Oberon in here. We do want to have energy weapon people on energy ships. So if you're not sure how to test a ship, run simulation as your friend. We are going... I didn't check to see how many deployment points this is, so we're going to test it on something small just to see if it works. Let's test it on that thing. Okay. So 2 buttons you want to push here is U for autopilot. And then since I have the mods on, I can actually speed up here. So, hey Adrian, I just saw your message as well here. So we're gonna get here and look. This lobster's actually kind of smaller than this other ship, but look at the lasers go. These are some Diable weapons. They work very well, and you just like completely ate that. So definitely a promising auto build. If you're ever not sure, the auto build in this game is honestly pretty reliable here. So here's a faster, not a standoffish destroyer, and you can see that it has a lot of other weapons here. Like I said, big thing is that one thing to keep in mind when you're designing ships is that I don't have to test in one-on-one scenarios. In fact, I won't do that. I will do that in a little bit here. But the 1v1 is also pretty important as well. But yeah, I just want to go back up and make sure I didn't miss message in chat, because there we go. So, oh, that was Adrian DB who gets to be reported. I'm very sorry. Report Adrian DB. Oh well. That's not how we do it here on Twitchland anymore. All right. Ha! Account suspended or deactivated. Fun. All right. This is what I get. This is what I get for missing shit. All right. So anyway, that's live on Twitch. That's how you know you're live on Twitch, is when you get spam bots in here. So I'm pretty happy with that. Ganymede definitely has some missile specialization as well. So we may want a more energy-focused officer on there. Like maybe Jack Aubrey can get an upgrade here. I think a Reckless Lobster is amazing. And then we've done pretty well with the crab ships. Joe Steele got downgraded, whereas Rock Forehead got upgraded to the Star Eater. We'll get to there in a little bit. Like I said, I'm working my way up the list. So that auto build's fine. As long as the ship can perform on its own, it's fine here. Now, this is interesting because it does have a Typhoon Reaper launcher, and they decided to put expanded missile racks here to have more, but we have a universal machine gun. Lots of light machine guns. This is some stuff that I may be able to strip. But one of the things that I've gotten requests here for some of these ships is that they work pretty well as kind of little crazy gunboats here. So let's take the Thresher out for a run here and see how this goes. Like I said, I have so many ships that I have to go through in this game that if the AI can do something pretty good for me... Okay, that's probably too big. Oh, maybe it's not. Let's find out. You know, I didn't put a pilot in it, so... that's going to make a bit of a difference. So we'll try without pilot and with pirate. Account banished to the Shadow Realm is correct. Oh, it's a carrier. Of course it's a carrier. So we learned that all the machine guns in the world are not going to do very well versus a carrier. That's fine. All right. In simulation. The simulation has failed. Run the sim again. So this is a 14-point, doubles firing rate for a short time, but will get overwhelmed. Let's put an actual officer in here. Let's put Joe Steele in here. Let's see if we can upgrade you to ugly ship for your ugly mug. No offense. Look at my face. All right. So maybe not something that's going to overwhelm it with stuff here. Hammerhead, experimental. Is this the Brighton version or is this just the regular extra ship version? We're going to find out. This is a fight that I'm expecting Joe to win. But the weapons may not be good enough because, and we'll talk about what the weapon profile looks like here. But that's an experimental hammerhead. We have a bunch of Reaper torpedoes. Definitely a start. Unfortunately, the Reapers have no tracking, so you've really got to get that shot in there. So this is kind of fascinating thing to look for because you want to, if you're running Reapers, you definitely want to have the ability to knock down their shields and then move into it, and that's exactly not what the AI is doing. So this is already telling me that we need some tweaks here, because Joe Steele, despite me dogging on him a little bit, is a very good pilot that's done good work in this save. So I've kind of seen everything I need to see. They're going to be at a standoff for forever. So yeah, let's go ahead and strip this puppy. There we go. So 95 deployment points to work with. We'll need some for capacitors and vents. First thing you want to look at is what does the ship have that comes with it. We have a medium universal slot, some medium ballistic turrets. I don't mind the Reaper launcher. I don't like how the game was just trying to use it. We have a bunch of small missile hardpoints as well. So we could lean into this being a bit of a missile boat, which suits Joe's stuff really just fine. So we have some missiles with some other backup here. So what's a sort of medium missile here? Like we have, oh boy, the medium resonator is actually pretty fun. This is one of the Dorito weapons, I think. Yeah, it is. So anti-shield, that will help kind of with the Reaper synergy. Let's actually try that on there just to see. And for all I know, that was on there before and we just stripped it and I'm wasting everybody's time. Now for small missiles, there's a lot of other things that we can potentially do here. Yeah, autofits work surprisingly well. Yeah, that's unironically effective autofit build. That's pretty good. Now, there's some weapons that I've kind of gotten leaning towards, but let's talk a little bit first about what's going on here on this screen. Because there's obviously, if you scroll down here, there's weapons in the base game, and there's not a ton to choose from, like the Sabot, for instance. Eventually, you get to know them, but the part that I want to highlight here is this area in the middle, kind of near where my cursor is, above the ancillary data. Now, the damage type is important, but a lot of these weapons, especially mod weapons, have some kind of special effect to them, and the Sabot is actually a really convenient example because that's one of the special missiles that actually jumps out and does EMP. Very different from most of the other missiles in this game. So we do have, and Sabot's not necessarily a bad option if I want to have the ship kind of take down shields. Like this MRM here has good tracking, it's kinetic, it's versus shields. I'm actually a really big fan of Thunderbolts, but those are finishers, high explosives. You can see that those do damage to armor, but it does pierce damage, half the damage inside the enemy ship, disabling weapons and faraway systems. Thunderbolts are fun. The other thing that's very exciting about Thunderbolts is that typically they come with a pretty good amount of missiles. 8 there, you got to watch your ammo. Some missiles that I really like to fire, like the kneecappers are another really good one here. It costs no flux to fire. That means they actually have no limit on the ammo. So if I was running a bunch of kneecappers, it would be a total waste for me to do expanded missile racks because we don't need the missile racks. Gonna be very important here pretty soon. So we'll take Hieronymus's suggestion here, and we're going to throw safety overrides on here. That's going to be 45 points that I don't think I can build in, because they patched it, and I haven't done the mod that unpatches it to allow safety overrides off. So I don't know if we're going to actually go that route, but it's a fun idea. 75 speed is pretty good. Let's see here. For the missiles, what's gonna work pretty well here? if we want to lean into the Reaper launcher, if we want to lean into this, maybe we have some support missiles that actually... Glorious Kingdom of Terror enabled. I will tell you that honestly, I have not changed the configurations on it yet, and honestly, I have not found that weapon too often in the wild enough for it to think about. But if I do find it here, and for all I know, it's sitting here in my inventory right now, we'll make it work. The Dulce MRM rack, this is another finisher, goes for armor. All the Rosenritter stuff is like stupidly powerful. But yeah, for all these missiles here, I think we're just... I could have like a bunch of small finishers, put them... maybe put them on alternating, and then we have this, because this is an MRM launcher that does not have limited ammo. Yeah, I know if the weapon portrait doesn't fit. That's true. Okay, so the other thing here that's kind of a trap for ship design is that you don't need to fill every single turret possible to make your ship work. As one of the things I really had to get over. If we're trying to go for degrading armor, you almost can never go along with hypervelocity drivers. They have good range. Not as good range as the Resonator, but about as good as you're going to get with the ballistic here. They're anti-shield, they lower shields, they make some stuff work, although there's definitely something to be said about the Reskin 5s, so let's do that instead. And the reason here, if we compare here, they're both 1,000 range. The flux per second is definitely in the favor of the hypervelocity driver. It has a refire delay of 2 versus this pushing out little bursts of fire followed by just some other stuff. I mean, refire delay, some tiny burst. Plus, it's fun. So what the ship's going to kind of do is just throw here. Let's go ahead and try. I think we're going to actually... Like, the kneecappers are fun, but this is going to be like an aggressive go after the ship. Which maybe a salamander could work, but let's... I have a good feeling for the Thunderbolt shift-click to do this. I'm not sure if that's a really loud one from Diable. We're going to find out in a second. So the other thing is that we need some point defense on here. One of my favorite things from the Volkov Industries mod is the point defense arc emitter. This costs 15. It's not super flex intensive, and it covers the whole ship. The worry, of course, is that with something like this, we could probably just cover it with even... Okay, not a Rift Lance. We don't want to do that. If we do just some tiny point defense here, not long-range point defense, it's way too slow. Honestly, for all of the things that are in this game, I really don't mind just a basic point defense laser, and then maybe like a Vulcan cannon here. Ugh. I know those are boring and in the base game and everything, but maybe for Hitman's Bodyguard, you could always just shout and say, boring is best. Light machine gun's also not bad. Alright, so let's see how this goes. We have some open slots available. We have a Reaper launcher that's sitting over here. We're going to keep that separated. We're going to put these together. We're going to have the AI maybe auto-fire these. I like Weapon Group 1 alternating. I almost want to put it in with the Resonator and this, but we're not going to. Vulcan Cannon, we're just going to link all of those together. Because once we start trying to do auto-fire for all those things, the AI gets confused. So, what kind of ship do we have here? If we look one more time, obviously I'm not done, and I just misclicked the wrong thing. We have 25 ordnance points left. This is a ship that doubles the firing rate for a short time, then halves the firing rate for a short time. That can work pretty well with some of these weapons, even though we do have a refire delay, so I'm not entirely sure if that's anti-synergy or not. Just because I make videos doesn't mean I'm an expert, but let's hear. I see the shaky fist, Hieronymus. That's probably the best move here. So what can we add? Like right now, maybe we don't need 3 Thunderbolt racks. Maybe we only need 2. Our vents are okay. You kind of want to be near the weapon flux range. One of the unfortunate things it looks like is that we have 5 ammo here. This ship would probably be really, really happy to have... we're not going to do Laidlaw Overdrive. Ballistic and energy weapon rate of fire by 30%, but reduces their range. We don't really want that. Solar shielding, stabilized shielding. If I was going to put story points in this ship, and I'm not, there's definitely some things we could do. Integrated targeting unit for 15. Seems really good. Hardened shields seems to be good. ECCM package actually might be really nice here, but those are all 15 cost. So you can't always get everything, so we're just going to pick the one thing. Let's do integrated targeting unit for now. See how much more range we can get. We're just in the testing phase here one more time just to see how much. This is 18 deployment points, so we kind of want to go even con. Let's see. Not supposed to put everything on auto fire. Well, you can. It's what I used to do. Then I got better at this game. Alright, so 18 deployment points. What do we think we can kill? Because we saw ourselves get overwhelmed before. Yeah, let's try this. I think this ship will probably lose. But here we go, Joe Steele in the as of yet unnamed ship. There's a bunch of missiles. And we're going to kind of slow it down a little bit. So we got a bunch of shit flying around. And this is where I'm saying maybe the ECCM package would be a little bit better. But yeah, see, this thing is much faster than here. So that's where maybe safety overrides if we could just build them in. Right now, those Dorito weapons are doing a pretty good work. So let's speed it up, because unfortunately one of the reasons I don't like showing the weapons test here is because the AI really has a tendency in one-on-ones to run into the corner. So that's excellent. That was our first Reaper shot. Now, I don't like that it was used to break the shields, but this is already performing a lot better. And we have, you can see there's our other finisher missiles flying in, maybe slower than any missiles I've ever seen. So this is functional. And that's all I'm really looking for right now. This is going to be a support missile boat. Maybe I don't need as much point defense as I've put on it. But this is definitely a more successful test. Yeah, except the two big boys that can't be replaced. That's very optimistic to think about, Hieronymus. The thing is that every ship can be replaced. Everybody can die. I mean, all that I have to do is just go to Tabitha and get smacked around, and then you can see I'll have to replace all of my ships. And if you don't know what Tabitha is, there are some things in the mods from Starsector that added some bonus content, e.g. some very difficult fights, and we kind of know where this is going here because we're at the other corner of the map now. And there's some challenges that I want to do, but in order to do them, I gotta up my fleet a little bit. I want to see the kill, and it's taking forever. Alright, so you've hit the end of the map. Nowhere to run now. Once again, the Reaper to break shields I'm not a fan of, but that's fine. We have defeated the other ship. This build is okay. Could it be improved? Yes. Oh, and I just took Joe Steele off. But that gives me a point to say here that yes, we do have some story points. I can make an officer skill elite here, which will improve something like making missiles special here, and we can actually elite up to 4 skills. I haven't done as much of that yet. Actually, I have kind of at a premium for story points right now, but that is definitely something to target. Alright, so Prize of High Orbit, that's a very boring generic name. Well, see, that's the difference. Breaking the shields with the Reaper might be a good move because the computer is better at this game than I am. So, okay, first off, I'm a huge fan of the Squall on the Apogee. Like, this is just a very great weapon to have shoot off to the side and then fire whatever. I'm a big fan of the Siege Laser. I don't know so much about these two, and I definitely don't know about that. So I do have a mod list. Lieutenant Witching, let me just throw that up one more time. I had that up at the beginning of the stream, but everyone's going to be coming in here, so take a screen cap if you want. It's a lot of mods. I can't package and put them together because I do not have the authority to redistribute other people's work. But here we go. Expanded missile racks yet again. Sabots, which kind of have some tracking. I think these are primed to be cut, but I want to see what this looks like. Who are we going to have test pilot this? Let's put, is that a gun or a laser on the top? All right. Since it's the siege laser, let's put Vlirjamus on this. Reckless apogees, I've had people clamoring for those for years. The thing is that expanded missile racks may not work with this very well. But we're just going to go... Yeah, Sealy was HMI monsters. Tabitha... Yeah, I don't know where Tabitha comes from, but... She's... it reminds me of a girl I knew in middle school named Tabitha, who was also terrifying. Alright, let's take on the Junker here. One underpriced, over effective ship for the other here. I said shit on accident. I meant to say ship. This is not a family-friendly stream, so this is what I love about the Squall. It's just constant pressure. And then we have this stuff over here, and it's just going to constantly fire. So, right now, this is working. I still don't think those guns in the back are very good. So let's try it. Let's test something. We need a better test here. Let's do it against one of these. All right. Once again, Apogee, this is a ship that you can start with. Granted, this is the Brighton version. And the Apogee is known for having tons of shields and really good weapons profiles. And suddenly those back lasers are doing a little bit of work, but it is kind of making some flex problems. I don't think the... I think this just needs a few tweaks and we're kind of in good shape. Yeah, there is the Alpha Core. That's correct. That's going to be the Genesis project. It's definitely going to be a little bit scarier, but it is something that I can potentially do. All right, so we know this needs to be tweaked, so let's tweak it. All right. Okay, so Squall's good. I think I don't need these. And I think I don't need this. One of the reasons I bring a Squall is because it has a fuck ton of missiles. The Sabots are good. We'd kind of like the AI to kind of just spare using them, so alternating's fine. Siege laser to talk professionally. That one side weapon fucking sucks. They all missed. I think if we're going after a bigger target or in a larger engagement, it may be better. We're going to be throwing these ships together in a fight. So, ooh, burst point defense lasers. That's a waste of points. I think this is probably... This is probably a good place to have a arc emitter here. That'll be fine. And honestly, there's a few things that I could argue for here. We have high resolution sensors, Brighton reconstruction, which has those things. I don't mind hardened shields here. The other question, though, is do I want to put an integrated targeting unit as well? Because that pretty much takes up everything. Ooh, wow. Excuse me. Squall's a large slot. These are small slots on the front. So, no, we can't. And there's other missiles that I can definitely put in here. Oh my god, the Pod Bay Piranha. I've never gotten that to work very well here. Like... If you don't want a Squall, a Hurricane with better tracking is also pretty good. That's a really long-range missile. Maybe I don't need... Hammer has no tracking, so we don't want to have that on the side. Alright. Oh, wait. Is that the Thresher class torpedo, Kingdom of Terra? Probably not what we want firing here. And there's some Rosenritter weapons that I can actually have on there too. So what I've done in the past is put a Hurricane Merv on there. I want to see how that functions kind of in the base fight here. So we're going to take these lasers off the side here. We're going to put the point defense arc emitter. We're going to see how this can carry. I don't know how much of a deal taking off the two back lasers is going to be for damage. So maybe it's going to be okay. Maybe it's going to be a problem. but we want to auto-fire those for sure. Alright. Sim it up. And let's give us something with a wider butt to fight. I say wider butt. Let's see how we do against the Dominator. That sounds like fun. Dominator! I forgot who I had piloting the ship. So there's our Squall missiles doing a little bit better. So that corrosive shot here is doing pretty good. And see, the nice thing about the Squall missiles is that they fly pretty fast. They are there to constantly apply pressure. One of the issues I'm going to run into, though, is that we don't know how many sabots we have, or if we can make it work. So there's a sabot. So we got the big siege, this big siege gun going. All right. Let's compare with the Hammerhead real quick. We definitely don't need that many vents. All right. Like we could also do, like I said, there's other options here. The Hammer Barrage, limited ammo. You know what? Let's try Locust. All right. I think I'm just misremembering what I used to do here, which is great because I can admit that live on Twitch. Locust on the side here is going to apply a lot of pressure. The Squalls are much better up front on things. So there we go. Ton of missile garbage. Is it going to make a difference? I don't know. So we have... You're doing stuff. And obviously we're fighting a different ship right now. So this is... We're not having the best day right now. Which is kind of hilarious, because usually you want your apogees to work pretty well here, and this one is, I'm on the struggle bus right now. Alright, so that's already a problem. That clearly was not the answer. Alright. Would help if I did like control and fought against the same shit though, so is this one. Alright, here we go. See, the AI just doesn't do as... It'll like try to engage with the Hammerhead missiles, and it doesn't... Once again, a lot of those miss too. But see, once we get in there, I think that may be better for finishing. We'll see how that goes with the higher fleet. All right. Okay. I guess the other question is this the right weapon? We have twin plasma, 750. This is the siege laser. I don't always do great with those. All right. I'm actually docked, right? Because I thought I had some other weapons here. All right. Like, good old plasma cannon could work, but... Let's try this one. It's going to force us to be a little bit closer. But let's just... Maybe that's what we need. And let's fight something a little bit more cooperative like you. Alright. Oh, wow. Okay, this is not the fight for this ship, I guess, because I'm getting outmaneuvered like hell. Oh. I did manage to take it out, but not before, like, totally dying, so that's probably not great here. Safety overrides. Sabot. Interesting. Let's leave this like this for now. I want to kind of move on to some other things. Now, we've already worked kind of on this. And I know I was saying the squall before could work. But let's try a hive. Anti-fighter. No, we want to do something else. Let's do hammer barrage. I think this ship may already be okay. We don't have a lot of like other shit built on though, so, and it doesn't always need it. Let's see, who can we have pilot this? Let's put Sevatar in there for now. Alright. And Sevatar is going to be fighting... I could have him fight a drill. No, let's have him fight one of the Kingdom of Terror buddies. We're going to see if I'm about to crash the game on accident. Alright. Okay, that's why it's also slow. We didn't ever speed it up. Okay, so we have obviously fluxed the shit out of each other already. That's a start. Don't know why we're having the weird back, forth, side to side fly around thing. And now we have our chase to the middle, so round 2 engagement. That's a really nice machine gun package there, but the Laidlaw accelerators go just a little bit faster. Doom 2 super shotgun, I'll have to look out for that. But yeah, this is... I think this build's fine. It's pretty similar to what I had before. For the plan B, part B, number B, for Makokolo losing his ship due to my irresponsibility as well. Alright. Kaboom. So that's fine. Maybe we don't need all the hull mods in the world. We're just going to leave it like that. This brawler was specially designed by a viewer. That's fine. And then we're here. I like how this ship is running. And it's famous. So that's even more better. And I like how this ship is running. So this gets us to 2 of our newer ships here. The Grim Beamer that has a Tac Lance, a Remnant Tachyon Lance, and... I don't know if I want to have a Reckless Officer in it or not. Let's see what's the ability on this ship first is probably one of the big questions here. Briefly increases damage dealt by all energy weapons. So we want to be able to lean into that pretty hard, which means Vlir Jamus may actually do better in here. Because Tony, you got some good stuff going for you, but this is definitely an energy boat. Makokolo may also work pretty well. We can see about a Reckless Officer in here. Don't worry, I have plenty of good ships available. So Heavy Blaster, Point Defense Lasers all around, Light Needler, some longbows. I'm kind of uninspired by this auto build. Let's run a simulation and see if I can get re-inspired. I forgot to see how many points this is. So we're gonna have to work up the food chain a little bit. Let's start with let's start by taking on one of our own kind of ships. So once again, this is energy, but with some bombers here. I don't always know if the bombers are going to be the best move if we have the means to support them, and you can see the bombers are already dead, but the Tachyon Lances are doing pretty nice. Remember when I said I was kind of uninspired? Yeah, I should Should shut my damn mouth. Okay. Okay, so getting ambushed by another big ship. These things are hard to kill. Especially when I turn off autopilot. So let's actually end the simulation and try again. So what makes this really good, apparently, is that the game designed it and it didn't get to put my hands on it. Honestly, heavy needler, hypervelocity driver, these little things, everything's working towards the goal of knocking down shields. So let's go ahead, redeploy, speed up. Maybe the ship's all right. As long as you're useful, and that's all you ask. What a team player. Okay, so we have a bunch of fighters here, which they have a nasty launch. My bombers didn't do shit, which I guess is always the fear of having AI ships, which is one reason that I like the Wanzers so much, because they don't immediately run to die. But yeah, that is terrifying. I love it. What else is giant that we can take on? Here. Have fun. Okay, so that didn't work out. Alright. But still, that design's fine. Which gets us to the Star Eater. And the Star Eater, its current auto build has a lot of interesting stuff. We do have some other missile launchers here. Integrated targeting, expanded magazines, ECCM packages built in, artillery interface, reduce the ordnance point cost of large ballistic and energy weapons. These are medium ballistics. And those are point defense lasers on the side. And we have a bunch of harpoons as well as literally some big scary guns. And some Vulcan cannons on the front. This is a terrifying ship. Do I have the blueprints for the Sky Splitter class? No, I don't think I do, but I will check here. I can check right now since we're in between ships. Capital, all designs. No, I'm pretty sure Sky Splitter is not among them. No, that was a found ship. Now, if I could get two, I could always salvage one of them. But this is one of those points where if we look at the Rosenritter weapons, one of the things I was thinking of is potentially building some more of these torpedoes. They're really good. Spawns a bunch of secondary explosions is amazing. Their ballistic weapons are good. I'm not entirely sure about the energy weapons. AoE, high energy damage, looks nice, but I don't really know for sure. And hey, Hezer Herrick, hope you're doing good. Right now we're trying not to go spiral into debt here, so I only kind of gave a sneak peek preview to see how this auto build works before. I think one of my questions is, are harpoons the answer at missile here? Because we definitely want to be putting missiles on the medium missile slot, so but we have options. And harpoons are very good at what they do. If I could ever find another harpoon. Did I just literally... Okay, first off, these are small harpoons. And this is a medium slot. And looks like we have a lot of vents. Yeah, I think we're gonna be redesigning some of this shit in just a little bit. Because I definitely saw while I was looking through the ship a few things we could cut. Item stealing and shipbuilding. I do believe I have put the Rosenritter stuff as favored. Now, this is a super capital, but we're going to start with something a little smaller here. So here's our lobster. Yeah, one of the reasons that I did put the Rosenritter stuff in there is that if I happen to get in a fight and get to salvage from my own fleets attacking things, then it'll be fine. But yeah, this just looks terrible. I mean, it's literally a giant space lobster. But harpoons are not necessarily going to save us. And see, we're the ones that are running away. Our point defense is kind of getting overwhelmed right now. So this is where a ship could do really well in the combined arms field. And it's funny, because now that I'm looking at the little block of Twitch stuff down there, the frame rate is going all over the place. So I hope this is actually showing up clearly. Which, like I said, that's, yeah, so... Hiver ship, we know it's scary. Alright, so that's fine. First off, I gotta see if the stream's been weird the whole time, I'm gonna be really sad. Let's go ahead, I'm just gonna go into the OBS settings real quick. I'm gonna change our output here to slightly lower. I didn't used to have problems with this. Alright. So let's try something that maybe is not so, Wait, why are we fighting a Rex? We're just fighting everyone else's big scary ships. Oh, look, it opens its mouth. Alright. So this ship has a tendency to disengage. Maybe I need a super aggressive officer on it. So we're actually not doing a ton of damage until we fire the missiles. So I think what we need to do to fix this ship is to lean into the missiles pretty hard. Well, we just did a massive amount of damage to it somehow. So... And now we're getting eaten. This is a hilarious fight. Alright. Got a request to fight the ramming speed ship. Alright, before we do that... Let's see. Combat. Oh, I can't see the sim combat data. I thought I could for some reason. Alright. Want to do one more test here. And then I think I know what I want to do. So the big Kingdom of Terra ramming ship. I was about to say, I think that's the... I think it's this one. Or we could do just the mammoth with the two spines. That's kind of what I want to be getting anyway. There's the blockade runner, Corsair, Quetzalcoatl. Alright. I had it right the first time. Cool, okay. So can our super capital that has this weird halo light effect around it for some reason... Oh, it dodged! Okay. Alright, we're here. We're knocking off all kinds of parts because all the Kingdom of Terra ships are modular as hell. So I think we're doing okay against some of the gimmick ships. I want to see if we can do better than okay. So let's take off these hammerheads. They're good versus armor. They're pre-aimed. Fast tracking speed. Let's ditch these for a second while we're here. Point defense, we do not need this much point defense. We just don't. The two cannons up here are fine. I probably actually don't need these. It does leave a blind spot right here for the point defense, but it's mostly covered. So point defense laser, point defense laser. So that's something. Alright, so we have medium missiles to work with. And honestly, our vents are okay. Our capacitors are a little wonky, but if we're primarily relying on, like, missile damage here, what I'd love to see is, if I cut out more things, can I make them work? Alright, missiles. What do we think we need? I'll take suggestions. Pure guns are probably superior. I agree with you. There's certainly some other builds for that. The thing is that this ship really has a bunch of mods that work with missile stuff, including it actually has unlimited missiles. Okay, safety overrides. Okay, Captain Safety Overrides. Can we even put safety overrides on a capital ship? I'm pretty sure we can't. So you're asking me to remod a heavily modded save. All right. So how many of these do we have? We only have one. Dolch MRM launcher. This is also 11 points, finisher, 300 range. Does that give us more oomph than the Hammerhead? We also have some Pyre rockets. Semi-random spread and curvature. Volleys threaten a wide arc. No tracking. Not entirely sure how I feel about that when they're shooting from the side. Annihilator rocket pods are fun. We do have Harpoon MRM mediums here with 12 here. The Narwhal Tusk Launcher. You know, I'm not sure if the Super Reaper would work or not. We have just regular old accelerated missile launchers. You know, those aren't bad. Alright. Let's try 4 of those. Then we can drop the capacitors a little bit. We got 10 more points to work with. And actually, if we go ahead and delete 2 of these, we got even more points to work with. What missile launcher's key stat? That's a great question. First off, there's 3 things that I look for in a missile launcher. One is what kind of damage it does. Like, see, this is a missile launcher, but it does energy damage. So it splits between shields, armor, and hull. We have finisher ones. These are here that once the shields are down, they're meant to destroy the ship. I actually may equip one of these and try to hard build another one here in just a second. Then you have ones that actually take down... we have pressure. That pressure is also something to look for, like what type. Like sometimes you get finisher, you get general. The range is pretty important. But yeah, I actually don't focus as much on damage as maybe some other people do. I'm just trying to target something specific here. Which is probably a good question at this point. These big missiles are targeting shields. And they're big. And they do a shit ton of damage. And they have a bunch of secondary explosions. They actually kind of hit everything. They refire delay every 11 seconds. So we need something that's actually going to be a little bit more constant. Which means for this weapon group right here, these need to be alternating. But if we put you all in the same group, you all can also be alternating. Because of those 7 seconds or less. And definitely auto fire on these. Definitely auto fire on those. Maybe not auto fire on those. Maybe just let the game decide. And then we have 2 more missiles. Like I said, it may sound weird that damage is not exactly what I'm looking for here, but it turns out, at least in my experience in Starsector, a lot of missiles do a lot of damage. Not everything's like a Reaper torpedo that just is literally one shot, and if you hit it, you win, but there's a lot of other things that if you hit stuff, it works. So that's versus armor. These missiles aren't bad either. No flux, limited ammo, shorter range, medium speed. I think I gotta go with the Dulce here, which means I'm gonna need to build a second one. Although I don't like... I want to have something faster than just the delay here, so let's... Maybe I hard build some Dulces in a second. Like, these are all versus shields. These are versus shields. This is all versus shields. Maybe I'm going backwards. Maybe I just need some actual, like, finisher things here. Alright. Which means we go back to the big harpoons, which may not be bad. Let's try some of that. So 4 of these, 2 of these. I kind of want to link the narwhals. They have limited fire, but we do restore ammo as we go through here, so we don't want to auto-fit. Weapon groups for the Narwhal Tusk Launcher. We're going to try alternating, and we're going to try linked. So alternating, alternating. These might need to be linked. We'll find out. Tons of flux all over the place. It's a right mess. All right, who can we probably kill pretty easily? Let's fight a Telemon. Now, once again, I didn't change much about the ship other than the missiles, and I could always just put harpoons in there if I needed to. Telemon's one of those ships that I could be building. So we can take down shields in like a hot second. It's actually breaking through shit that's going to be a problem. Alright. You know, I haven't been able to find the blueprint for the King of Terror rock throwers, but once again, this is another weird relationship that this ship seems to have with the game, is that sometimes I just do no damage and then I do a ton of damage. And I just had some random ass missiles just fly off to the side. I think instead of the accelerated missiles, I'm going to put harpoons in there. And it looks like there's a secondary hull. Or no, that's just the fighter. Alright, so we're going to get the kill. Maybe any day now. There's big scary missiles. Okay, so very, very big scary ship. Let's get out the accelerated missile launchers. They're fast. I think the harpoons are going to be fine. Alright, so medium. We could do a dulch, but like I said, I don't like the refire delay. Sometimes when you want to finish, you just want to finish the game. Alright, so we have accidentally passed by what we're looking for. Not high explosive. But yeah, most of what I'm looking for is type, and then I'm much more of a visual person, so sometimes I just gotta see it to believe it. So this is 9 refire delay. Okay, in that case, we're just gonna put... Is the dulch here, is that a finisher? Yeah, versus armor. So we'll, I kind of want to link them. Yeah, that'll be fine. Okay, one more simulation, and then I think we're going to go into the next phase here in just a second. So what can we fight that's something I haven't fought yet? Okay, first off, we need to do our... This is kind of my baseline. If the ship can't kill a conquest, it's a problem. So let's see if I'm about to have a problem here. Because right now the shields are doing okay. We want to be doing a lot of work with the missiles here. So there we go. And if we can finish the game any day now, we're doing a lot of damage. There we go. That's a beautiful shot. All right, one more time. Yeah, no, this is something that I'm very glad I have the AI piloting, because clearly I would not be doing a great job here. It takes like a lot of work to make this work. So one more sim, and then I think we're through designing ships. What's big and nasty? An incursion. Incursions are kind of one-trick ponies. Paragon's kind of boring. I don't have as many good options for like big things. I guess we could take on a Mimmer. That's fine. Similar amount of points anyway. 2 onslaughts. I'll do that test. You definitely have to deal with a lot of pressure if it's the onslaughts here. But a Mimmer's another, or Mimir, it's another kind of ship that I'm looking for. So, fortunately, we're able to chase it down. So, yeah, that is, that was good. Let's do 2 onslaughts. Yeah, like I said, this is, sort of the first part of this stream. I'm going to take a quick water and check on cat break. But then we're going to go into the next series episode for this. And that's kind of good timing because I definitely do have to stop the stream here in about the time it'll take me to record another episode. So that'll be fun. And hopefully things will be stable. My stream alarm shit has not been doing so bad lately. But see, that's a lot of pressure. And I'm just taking a ton of hits right now. So first thing is first, Rock, you're flying straight into the onslaught cannons. What we need to do is to not take them head on. Yeah, the Mimir did look good until it died. So here's the thing, is that we are... The AI here is not able to take on 2 onslaughts because it won't dare attack it from the side. That's fun. However, let's do one big banger at the end here. Run simulation. And then we're going to bring in some allies. Let's bring in all of our relatively new ships. So there's 237 over here for deployment. And then for the opponents, let's grab one of these because we haven't fought one of these yet. Let's grab one of these. Let's grab one of these. Let's grab 2 of these. And that seems fun. And then just for fun, we'll grab 2 of these. Low-tech Paragon, I think so. There's some really fun, interesting Paragons in these mod sets. Yeah, the Brawler Battleship. We'll bring that too, just for fun. Okay, so big fight to end it all. Us versus them. Alright, so let's see if I can outrun my support immediately. That is going to be a big issue with this Rosenritter super capital ship, is outrunning the support. So let's see how badly I can make the stream chug. The game's chugging right now. So we drew first blood, thanks to Vlir Jamoose flying around. We have our other Rosenritter ship doing really good. We have Makokolo's super scary special here, the Grim Beamer, getting some other work as well. Oh my god. Joe Steele doesn't know a fight that he can't lose. He's actually trying to go one-on-one pretty well. Of course, he's getting overwhelmed by carriers, which is exactly the problem here. So the Grim Beamer got destroyed, but out of the airlock is now turned into a million pieces. Yeah, don't expect a good shoutcast. We have a Lobster up here with Sevatar, I believe, that's still trying to do some work. But yeah, this is what I kind of want to see. So I'm glad I just had the bitrate going up too high for some of those other fights. So yeah, I think I have gone through the paces here. It's not perfect. There's some things that work. The apogee is literally, I just reverted back to an auto build. Because sometimes if stuff doesn't work, you just want to get to it later. But there's something to be said about just slapping a plasma cannon in and saying, hey, get close. And snuggle up and fire. So did we actually kill everybody? I think we did. Cool. Alright, so I'm going to take a quick break. And then we're going to dive into the next episode of the series. So hang on to your butts. I'm about to spend a lot of money. Oh, my mic's on! Now you get to hear me, like, fart and stuff.